guys, how's going? So this video is about what do pilots study. This is not a technical or an educational video. This is just a brief idea for general people that what do pilots study. So this video will keep it very simple and concise so that you have an idea of what's happening. So in this video I have my colleague Sanket who would be helping me out further in this video. As I said, let's take this video very in a practical sense so that everyone knows how the commercial airlines works and what do the commercial airline pilots do. So if we take an example of a commercial airline, people can really relate to what we do study and how is it applicable in our practical life.
So yeah, starting with something simple, I would go with air law, where it's basically set of regulations that we do follow. Like in the ground, we follow the same kind of regulations up in the air. Coming to that, like once we are airborne, there are two kinds of rules that we follow: VFR and IFR. So I would elaborate it for you. VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules, and IFR is Instrument Flight Rules. So in VFR, what happens is pilot visually looks outside and flies the aircraft. But like my friend here, Saurav, who mentioned about commercial airlines, they basically fly instrument flight rules, where the whole plane is solely dependent on instruments. So yeah,
as my friend mentioned about those IFR and VFR instruments, in commercial airlines we usually use instrument ratings. Like for example, you may have seen your flight landing in a heavy rain or during a fog. That's how we land on instruments, where the pilot is totally dependent on the instruments for landing. He do not see visually anything, but he can land depending on the instruments.
Talking about runways and the taxiways, like how rules are followed down on the road, where you have marks just right next to the road, same way pilots have to follow set number of rules before, while taxiing or while taking off, landing. So every stage of flying has its own rules to be followed.
Okay, so that's it. I think enough for the
regulation
air
part.
regulations. So next, go to a very important topic, that is air navigation.
Air navigation. Yeah, Saurav, I would really say yes, air navigation is quite a topic to go on to. I pretty think that there are hoaxes about navigation as one of the most difficult subjects for pilots to, get to. I mean, see, navigation again, it's basically upon how you direct yourself when you are in the aircraft, how you navigate with respect to the aircraft, how do you reach from position A to position B. That basically comes into navigation. So why don't you pitch in some points for it?
Yeah, navigation has also, as I mentioned about the VFR and IFR, navigation has a certain rules about VFR and IFR. They're totally different rules they have. In IFR, we have a lot of instruments. IFR basically works that there is a ground-based instrument which sends some signals to the aircraft. The aircraft detect those signals and follow the path according to the signals.
Surely. Again, coming into landing, there are so many...
What do you think, this is a VFR or IFR?
Probably it's a VFR, looking at its height. Everybody is really curious about the navigation procedures that happen up over there. So again, talking about when we are cruising, we have a specific flight route that we follow when we are cruising, and that's given through our navigation instruments. And as we come into land to the airport, so there are procedures where you get into a descent altitude where you have to descend at this point of time, and after that when you get over the airport, it's not like every airport is just made for you. Correct. So there will be traffic, and that's the reason we have holding procedures over it, and we get a specific time for it, or a clearance time to be precise, and then we go in for landing. So again, when we come in for landing, there are a set of procedures that are followed, like approach procedures, and talking about instruments or airliners, we follow something called as standard terminal arrival routes. I think
So explaining it in a very simple way, like when you go into a busy parking of some mall or some cinema hall, you have a certain entry procedures, like you enter through some area, you park in some area, then exit in some other area. Similar kind of things happen. There are routes in aerodromes, like there are specified arrival routes, there are specified departure routes. So we pilots have to follow those strictly to maintain the separation. Okay. Talking about the navigation equipments, there are some equipments on the ground that send signals to the aircraft. The aircraft receives those signals, and we pilots have to interpret those signals in some instruments. So we have to know the mechanism of those instruments.
yes.
So these instruments are advancing day by day. Today we got GPS, which is the most advanced way
yes.
of navigation.
Truly. So, in a nutshell, yes, navigation is the most important subject for an aviator. Yes, so that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's enough for navigation. And since navigation never ends, we have to study a lot about it.
Lot. So, like my friend here, when he spoke about GPS, I would say it's a very precise technology and something that is updating. So, for pilots, it's not like we've been fixed to just one instrument. There are a lot of instruments that we have to keep updating ourselves with.
Sankit, I think we should leave now. It's almost close to the sunset. We're lost in this forest.
Truly, I definitely agree. Let's head back.
Yeah. So let's continue the discussion about the topic, what do pilots study? So what was the last topic we discussed about?
The last topic we discussed was navigation, and
Yeah.
we did come back because of the low lighting out
Yeah.
there. I think let's start with technical as the subject.
Yeah. So technical basically has various parts, and one part which we study about the engines. There are various kind of engines. So one is the piston engine, which we use for the trainee aircraft, for general aviation aircraft. Some piston engine aircrafts are also used for those private jets. And why don't you talk about the turbine engines?
Yeah, the turbine engines, the turbine family consists of turbojet, turboprop, turbo shafts, and as you know, regional airlines sometimes use turboprop as, for example, for the ATRs,
Yeah.
and turbojets, the airliners use them. The other part of technical, which is the airframe and structure, mainly concentrates on the framework of the aircraft, the kind of material it is, and about the landing gears. Why don't you specify on that?
Okay, the aircraft and systems also consist of the studies of the landing gear, the brakes, the aircraft pressurization system, that are the hydraulic and the pneumatic systems. This makes the functioning of the flaps, the controls, and many other systems such as landing gears and all. Some works in hydraulic systems, some works in electrical systems. And there are, in the aircraft and systems, we also study about, I think, the emergency equipments, this oxygen systems that are used in the aircraft. And then we come to the principle of flight part, which is the most important thing that we should learn.
Yeah.
Why don't you specify about the principle of flight?
So, yeah, POF is a very important chapter because it starts with the basics of flights. For example, the basic aerodynamic theory, Bernoulli's theorem, and we get into the four main forces acting on the aircraft, that is thrust and drag, lift and weight.
Yeah.
So mostly all of it plays an important role, and because we fly general aviation aircraft, propellers, we study a lot about them.
Basically, principle of flight talks about the control surfaces that you may have seen. So another thing in the principle of flight, we study about the performance of the aircraft. So how can we reach the maximum performance of an aircraft, that we study. So in this we study about the mass and balance of the aircraft, the center of gravity, where is it present in the aircraft. So this enhances the performance, due to which we can get a most efficient flight.
Yeah, and also the stalling angle, I would like to talk about that too. The stall angle, at what angle the aircraft stalls, how we recover from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in a nutshell, yes, POF is a very important subject. It basically helps you to keep your basics intact, and would really help you in general aviation and flying.
Okay, I think that's enough for the technical.
Yeah.
Let's go to one more important subject, that is meteorology.
Meteorology, yeah. Truly, I think the name itself stays. It is about weather, and I'm pretty sure these guys will already be updated about what really Met is.
Yeah, Sanket, I would like to specify something that most of us, most of us who are not into aviation, they wonder about why do pilots study about meteorology?
So we as pilots have to be updated for the best. And coming to Met as a subject, I think at different levels, at different altitudes, we experience different kinds of weather. And you can talk about the clouds that we encounter, right?
Yeah, basically, meteorology deals with everything that we encounter in a flight. Some of the most important things are the clouds, the winds, and the weather conditions like the rainstorms or anything that we encounter on our destination or on our route. So, out of these, winds are the most important because we counter winds. Winds vary our performance of the aircraft, and also we should be cautious about the clouds.
And subsequently, we have a lot of other clouds where we study about, and it can also potentially provide a hazard to the aircraft. And it's best that we are aware of all of it, and hence we study the subject meteorology. So, about Met forecast and all that, Saurav, what are the things that you prefer to?
Yeah, always before a flight, we do check the METAR of the place of the departure aerodrome and also the destination aerodrome. Also, we check the high level winds of the route.
Yes.
Also, the weather of the route, and also these are really important things. The METAR, the TAF. METAR is the current weather, TAF is the forecast,
Terminal
and there are other forecast and current weather charts that you can see of a place of a smaller region or a large region, which helps you predict the weather on your route. So this is why meteorology is one of the most important subject.
Yes, most important. Yeah. So I think that's all we can talk about Met in this video, because the subject really pulls along.
Yeah.
And
So Sanket, I feel that human factors is one of the ignored subject. Like since it is a part of a DGCA law exam,
Yeah.
so people think that HF, the human factor, is not that important subject.
Yeah.
So what do you say about it?
So human factors, yes, like he said, I think it's been ignored, but and also the theory in DGCA exams is really short, to be precise.
Yeah.
But yes, there are questions which do appear from that. And yeah, HF is a really important subject because it basically talks about how your body copes up with the factors when you're flying.
Also, not only the pilots should be aware of what does the passenger feel backside. He may feel anxiety, flight anxiety. Many of the passenger has the motion sickness. Almost everyone has a motion sickness at times. There are certain situations like in a turbulence or in a maneuver where the aircraft is maneuvering at a high rate. So some people may feel motion sickness, some people may feel the G forces, they have some effects, they have some causes. So we need to recognize that thing and counter those problems. Not only this, the human factors also consist of some modern subjects called the CRM, the safety management systems. These things are very important in the modern airliners because in the multi-crew operations, not only about the pilots, including the cabin crews, these things need to be cooperated. The flight need to be cooperated among all the crews in the flight. So what do you say about the crew resource management?
It's a really good point that you made, especially in this video,
Yeah.
because CRM is really an important thing, and now especially it's being inculcated in subjects like air law and the HF, to be precise. And yes, it's not only about the pilots, like he said, it is about the whole team, how you are efficient as a team. And mainly with respect to Indigo, the first thing they want to look at is the team, the teamwork. So not only the pilots, also the cabin crew, how you work efficiently together to clear a problem, analyze a problem, diagnose, and then get a solution for it.
Okay. Yeah, CRM is basically this. It is not mandatory that the captain will always fly the aircraft. It is not mandatory that the co-pilot will always solve the problems.
Yeah.
There are certain tasks the pilot and the co-pilot needs to sort out within them, work as a team, not only between the pilots, the cabin crews, also the ground crews, also the operation management. Everyone needs to be cooperated and work as a team.
Okay.
So that's what CRM talks about. Everyone should have an idea about human factors because everyone really should know what is human limitations and the team management and all. So Last but not the least, let's talk about the radio telephony.
RTR,
Yeah.
radio telephony restricted. So yes, basically that covers the calls.
Talking to a general person who has no idea about the RTR, how do you explain him about RT?
Truly, so RTR is basically the most important thing in aviation is communication.
Yeah, of
you,
course.
you would agree on that. And basically, you contact the ATC. I'm pretty sure everyone of you are aware about the ATC, air traffic controller, which is a controlling unit which helps us to expedite the traffic.
Yeah.
And so basically, we keep in contact with them. They give us separations. They give us, like we mentioned in the previous topics, we get separations, we get clearances to fly, and so all this is communicated with the ATC.
Yeah.
And we give our position reports to the ATC.
Yeah.
We talk to them. Basically, we tell them where we are. We keep them aware if there are any emergencies.
The RTR basically deals with the clearances in controlled aerodromes and also in uncontrolled aerodromes,
Yes.
like where you do not have a ATC, but there is someone to vector your routes. There you advise your intention, like you are not just flying anywhere in your route. You need to advise your intention that you are doing that, so that other aircraft in your vicinity or other aircraft in that area knows about your intention.
RTR.
Yeah, why don't we take an example of the RT and explain?
Wanganui Traffic Academy 214 on short final for runway 29er. We'll be making this a full stop landing number 1. Wanganui Traffic Academy 219, Whiskey Charlie, boarding short runway 29. We'll be lining up on the runway behind landing aircraft.